Welcome to the Work the System podcast, where we help entrepreneurs make more and work less using systems. And I'm your host, Josh Fonger. Today, we have a special guest. We have Semay Rashad. Semay is nicknamed the Empowerer. He is a public speaker, master motivator, and expert capital advisor, business and life coach. He's a results-driven problem solver who believes if there's a will, then there is a way, and that imagination rules the world. And Semay is also the owner of Titans Capital Equity Group, a real estate and private equity asset management firm. Welcome to the show, Semay.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, you too. This is the last bit of work for me for the week. So I'll be very happy once we're done. But until then, why don't you give everybody the intro into what brought you here, what made you the master motivator, and your entrepreneurial career.
Thank you, Josh. What brought me here is I love helping people. I think that is just something that no matter what it takes, no matter what it is, there's information and gifts and talents that I've been blessed to get, research, and to involve myself with. And I know that information wasn't just for me. And I know it made a difference for myself and the people that I met along the way that mentored me and taught me. They poured out into me, and my role and responsibility is pour out into others. And so I've had a chance to coach and talk to teenage groups and single parents and community-based groups and church organizations and business owners, business leaders, about inspiring them to take the next turn, to look at problems a different way, to challenge them, to motivate them, because we all need that kickstart. We all need sometimes a lot of people, they give and give and give so much, they drain their own battery, and they don't know where to turn to sometimes to rejuvenate that battery once again. And so sometimes you got to plug in, like they say, iron sharpens iron. Sometimes you need to get with somebody else that has the energy, that has the focus, that has the force, that can reinvigorate you to get you going again. And at the same time, give you some notes and hopefully some pearls of wisdom that you can use for the journey. So as they say, once I was blind and now I can see. Sometimes we just need a new perspective. If I talk to people in my industry all the time, I'll get some information, but sometimes there's somebody on the outside looking in that can see better and say, Rashad, if you just do it 30% to the left or do 10% to the right, you'll really jump scale your business from there. And so we need that kind of information and input from the right people if we have that burning desire to go to the next level. And I think most people are looking to go to the next level, whatever it is. So if you're at a 1, you want to go to a 3. If you're a 3, you want to go to a 5. If you're a 10, hopefully you want to go to a 12. So as long as it's out there, it's available, you can put yourself in position to do that.
So you're already motivating me right now with your energy. So tell me, so when you're in front of a group and you're right, like you are right now, small business owners who are, depending on when you're watching this, whether you're watching this live on Facebook right now, or you're watching the recording, I think it still applies, but there's some indecision in the marketplace. There's some challenging times. There's some political turmoil. There's a lot of things going on. And I think that can be demotivating or at least distracting for a business owner that has to lead. So what are some strategies that a small business owner should utilize right now to keep their motivation up and to lead well?
Excellent. Good question. It's probably going to sound a little weird the way I start this off, but I'm going to have to say it anyway because I have to speak from my heart, not from the notes. I would sit quietly first and close my eyes and just feel and meditate and try to hear what's going on. I think somewhere in the universe, whatever energy or entity you want to call it, it speaks to you. And it will reveal the secrets of the world to you if you take the time to download that versus downloading something on YouTube or one of the other space channels you may be chasing, because you're hearing too many voices. And the most important voice you need to hear is that entity, that's something from the universe that puts you here for your destiny and for your journey. So that's the base of my power, my source, and my inspiration, my imagination. Imagination comes through listening. Now that you hear it, now you have to look at it and ask yourself the question, what problem can my business fix? Most people are in business because they're solving some type of problem. I have a flat tire, so I go to the store and I get a brand new tire. He solved my problem. I'm on the road and my car broke down. I'm calling AAA. They have a service that solves a problem. So sometimes we have to ask, what problem are we solving? Is that problem still relevant? Because in this new information age that we're in and this new digital economy that we're in, we have to face facts that we're evolving. And if you're not evolving with that, you'll be left behind like the Sears of the world, the JCPenney's of the world, and the dinosaur companies that refuse to change, Blockbuster, et cetera. We can go on, that just didn't see it coming. You need to see what's coming, and you can't fold your arms and say, well, that's for those young people, that's for those old people. You have to be open. So I think taking the point of, I'm going to be open. I might not have listened to that 3 years ago. I might not have listened to that 5 years ago, but maybe I can learn something from this 24-year-old. Maybe I can learn something from this 19-year-old. Don't discount the age. Don't discount the age. Be open to anyone that seems that they have some information that can help you catapult to that next level. So taking more information in that regards of looking, what problem can I solve? Am I solving the right problems, or should I pass on? Because if I was making light bulbs and now General Electric now dominates the market, there may not be no more room for me in there. I may need to now move on and make chairs or something else instead. So that's number 2. Number 3, I would continue to be positive, because I would get up every day and still say affirmations. And so I know that my mind and my subconscious mind listens to me. And it will give you whatever answer you're looking for, but most of us don't talk to it, or we perceive that we're talking to ourselves. And yes, I do talk to myself, but at the same time, I know what answers I'm getting. So I have to reaffirm and tell my mind what I want, and I send it out into the universe. I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to find the marketing channel. I'm going to find a way to increase my traffic flow. So, they always say, who talks to you more than anybody else in this world? Yourself. So who do you listen to more than? So what message are you driving in your head? If you're listening to the news, man, sales is down, businesses are closed, things are hard, the economy is bad, the president's this, and the Congress people are that, and where's my son? So all you're hearing is the negative, 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 negative. And what is going to grow out of there is negative results, negative responses, a closed mind. And you can't feed that kind of mind that type of negative nourishment and expect something positive to come out. So every day, Josh, let me ask you, how fast can life change for you?
In an instant, right?
In a blink of an eye, just like that. So you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what that next phone call coming in. You don't know what that next client coming in through the door may bring you, or the next meeting that you said, I don't want to drive all the way over there 50 miles to go to this crazy meeting. But that might be the key person that can turn your life 180 degrees. Some people say 360. No, I want to go 180, because I'm going this way now. I need to go the other way now to be better and do better. So I have to have the optimistic outlook that every time I look at the glass is always half full, not half empty. Today can be my day. Today could be the day of change. Today could be the day of breakthrough. Today could be the day of, I may come up with the newfound discovery that wasn't in the business before. Just like pizza. How long has pizza been around? Forever and a day? Back to ancient times in Rome? But one man came along named Thomas Moynihan and said 30 minutes or it's free. And Domino's Pizza dominated the market, and he retired a multi-billionaire. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't take a lot. We're not looking for the Big Bang Theory to come along. Mm-hmm. You just have to keep asking yourself on a piece of paper. There's something about taking things from the mind, from the vein, and putting it down on paper to make it plain. Mm-hmm. You need to see, because we hear with our ears, but then we see with our eyes, and it does something. I really can't even explain. I'm not that type of scientific person, but it does something to us, like setting goals when it's written on paper. And you could ask yourself, how do I solve my marketing problem? How do I solve my expense issue? Whatever it is. And then you continue to ask yourself that every day, and you might be getting out the shower, moving out of the car, standing in line in the grocery store, or cooking food, and then all of a sudden, boom, inspiration comes knocking. Why? Because you asked that question. And whatever you asked, that went out into the universe. It went around the world maybe 3 or 4 times, and it came back. Because that old saying is, what you're looking for is looking for you. And so it goes out and it comes back, and then, wow, now I have it. Now I have to take this birth of an idea and now see how to monetize it. And that may require a little bit more work, because now I have the idea for the car. Now I have the idea for the light bulb. Now I have the idea for how to put these shoes on people. So now I need to figure out a plan and a system to make it all work? And ask myself that last question, is it solving the problem?
So if I wrote those steps down, I think the first one is being quiet, which I wouldn't have thought. That's a great starting point. Then it's, what problem do I solve? And then the next thing is ask the question and wait for the answer. Is that the process?
That's the process.
As simple as that.
As I
Super
say,
simple.
most great things are not, is not, there's nothing new under the sun.
Uh-huh.
And we're just reinventing things and doing it 10% better. And you got to ask better questions. And I have to realize myself that whatever got me to where I am today is not enough to get me to where I'm going to go. So the same mind that created the problem, that mind is not sometimes big enough or high enough to understand how to fix the problem. So that's why I have to now network with other people. Now I have to get with other greater minds, because if I'm a 10 and I'm talking to an 8 can't take me to a 12 in mindset. But if I talk to a 15 and I'm at a 10, now he can raise my game. So if I played basketball hypothetical against Michael Jordan every day, and then I went back to high school to play, I probably dominate when Michael Jordan was in his heyday, because I played against the best of the best of the best on the court every day for a summer straight, 8 weeks straight, 10 weeks straight. We ran, we pushed, I got blown out every game. He destroyed me every game. But I got back up and I got stronger and stronger. And that's how you have to be in business sometimes. You got to get with other great minds and learn from them. And you got to be humble. And sometimes our pride gets in the way. We don't want to ask for help. We don't want to talk to nobody because we're afraid that they're going to think that we're failing. No, it's just the opposite. Wise people always surround themselves with wise counsel. So they should find that mentee, that coach, or that person that's in that area. And you believe it or not, and you probably know this yourself, I've reached out to people like the chairman of JetBlue, and he responded. He emailed me back and gave me some advice and gave me some pointers. So don't think because they're too high above you that you can't reach it, because at the end of the day, they're human beings just like you. And most of those people that are there, they love giving back. They love giving back. When we say they love giving back. So it's not that I'm calling them asking for $1 or lend me some money. I asked them about business ideas and what I tried already and it didn't work. What would you do if you was in my situation? And wow, the relationship began. He gave me some great information. And I'm talking to a multi-billionaire. I'm talking to a guy that runs, a multi-billion-dollar airline who has logistics and people and routes to run and coordinates and meetings and global things to take care of. Took the time to talk to a little guy like me, even though from Pittsburgh yesterday, to give me a little bit of advice. And that's all I needed to help change direction. So if you can get a few of those in your coffers, it'll make a tremendous difference. And lastly, stop thinking small. Stop going to the ocean with your teacup. Think big. Fail big. Go big. Go. What's the worst that can happen? So we got to take the fear out of it. We got to take the fear out of whatever that thing is for you. Take that fear out. I'm afraid to do the Zoom meeting with Josh. I'm afraid to read the book. I'm afraid to call a mentor. I'm afraid to talk to so-and-so. I'm afraid to talk to my banker. I'm afraid to go to the meeting. I'm afraid to ask me to stand up and do a presentation. I'm afraid. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And fear will hold you back from so many great opportunities that were sent your way specifically. It didn't go to Roger, Danny, or Joy. It came to me. It came to you. And now it's your turn to embrace it, to own it, to love it. Say, this is mine. Now, what I do with it, that's up to me. But the universe is going to say, I heard you now. I heard you crying. I heard your prayers. I heard you researching. So here I'm sending you the answer. And the answer doesn't always look like the answer. Sometimes it's disguised as hard work. But the harder you work, the luckier you become. If you want to find a diamond, you're not going to find it on the top of the mountain. You have to dig deep, 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 deep into the mountain where it's under tremendous pressure. As business people, we are under tremendous pressure sometimes. But we're going deep within ourselves to bring out the best, the diamond. And we're all diamonds in our own rights. There's no two diamonds exactly alike. So there's no two business people exactly alike. They can both be running Subway sandwich shops, but the business culture or the business energy will be different based on that business owner. And you feel it. I'm sure you've been in the stores, you feel the energy, bam, right away. And then there's other ones you walk in, it's like whatever energy you have, it just got zapped. Like I just walked into a dark room, a dark tunnel. Who turned the lights out? My goodness. I just came through the door and everybody's looking around and they're like, you know, why are you here? What do you don't want? You know, I just feel this negative vibe. I was like, do I really want to order something here? Or should I get out the door and go away? Then you walk into the other place. They're so fresh. Welcome. How are you? Glad to see you. Rashad, right? Yeah. Well, come on. What are you having today? That personal, boy, I feel so good. I feel like I'm King Kong. I feel like I'm on top of the world. This person remembered me. They know who I am. And their energy rubbed off on me. Because energy is a transformation of feeling. Either I'm going to feel like you or you're going to feel like me. So you better make up your mind which one is going to be. Either you're going to dominate it or it's going to dominate you. And you feel that on the phone. When you pick up the phone and you're making that call to a client or prospective client, you only got 5 seconds to let it out. You can't warm up like you're doing Barry White. Hello, how you doing? And then you try to get high. No, you better come off with the right energy first because you're setting the tone. You need to set the tone. You don't need to match them. They need to match you. Now I'm going to listen. And they're always like, wow. I mean, the greatest compliment you can get when you get off the phone and somebody says, wow, I feel better now that I talk to you. I feel better now that I talk to you. Man, this has been great. My day was just going down the dumps, but now that I talk to you, I can see myself making it through this now. First they were blind, now they can see. You are that light. You are that torch. You are that burner. You are that radiator that can bring it. And it doesn't, what does that cost? What did it cost? That impact can just swell over to so many other people now. That's something that you just have to have within that, you know, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling good about life. What you have to remember is that people say that the economy is down and that's their economy. What about my economy? I'm not participating in that economy. I'm participating in my own economy. So I don't get together with my cousin over there. His economy is down. They're laying people off. They're going through furloughs. And I understand. I get it. But I'm not participating. So what else can I do? What else can I do? I'm either going to lay here in the street and die, or I'm going to be a man and get up and do something about it. I'm going to think my way to success. I'm going to think my way out of this box. I'm going to think my way out of this bag. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to nail it. But that takes desire. See, if you don't have no desire, you have no fire. And if you have no fire, then you have nothing to light. And if you don't have nothing to light, you might just go sit on the side and let them come push you to the side and let somebody else with the light come through.
Well, Semay, there's a lot of questions I could ask you about that, but the one that stuck out to me in that motivational nugget right there, which was awesome, is the fear aspect, and you know people being paralyzed by fear, and owners of companies having to deal with things they've never thought of or been challenged with before, and you hit on that they need to get over this fear, and what would you say to someone who says, well, I don't know what to do next, and they're just stuck in that fear of failure? What kind of advice would you give them?
Okay. There's two things. One, am I stuck out of fear because I'm paralysis of analysis? Mm-hmm. Or is it fear that I'm just afraid to make a choice? I don't want to be wrong. Fear of moving, what is it going to cost you if you move forward? So we have to worry about what are you, in the fear equation, what is it at the root of it that you're really worried about? Losing reputation, losing money, losing clients, losing your house? What is that real thing that is holding up that decision from you moving? And when we're in fear, it's because we're fearful because we don't know. It's not it's the unknown that bothers me. Because I don't have the crystal ball in front of me to shake it up and say, and I can go to my Swami and say, okay, tomorrow, how's it going to be? Should I buy this stock or that stock? Should I inventory or throw things away? Should I open up or close? So we're waiting for that guru maybe to come along or that crystal ball to look in. But what you need is information intelligence. I need to get the intelligence to the situation, because there's a lot of cases and study cases of people that have come through challenging periods of time. And although technology has changed, we can use some of the same principles, with higher level technology sometimes to solve the problem. So I need to do a little more research. I need to call in the experts or read up on the experts. So maybe I can't afford it. My budget is so tight. I feel like I can't afford to pay an expert, but that might be the best investment that you've ever made, because that's really what you need right now. Before you invest in the next countertop, the next bottle, or you need to invest in somebody's mind. OPM, other people's minds. OPT, other people's time. OPK, other people's knowledge. And find out and it's like if I wanted to come over and do your roof, Josh, you would probably get 3 bids to see who's the best out of the 3. The same thing here. I have a challenge. So I'm going to talk to 3 people and get their perspectives and take a little bit from this one, that one, or throw the 3rd one away, or use a little bit of all of it. Now that I have more information, I'm more comfortable. It's not the end of the world. It's not a death sentence. I can live through this. I mean, that's how we have to look at it sometimes. This is not a death sentence. So no matter what happens, I can live through it. I can face it today and I can face it tomorrow. All I need to do now is get the correct information, because information changes the situation. And he or she who controls the information controls the situation.
Well, Semay, I wanted to totally change gears on you now, because I know you also run private investment and real estate investment. So why don't you share with us a little bit about how you do that differently, or how, what makes you unique in the marketplace for how you do your investments?
Okay. What we do is we have realized that lots and lots of working families don't get a chance to retire comfortably for a myriad of reasons. 1, I'm not putting away enough. 2, I don't even know what's in my investment account. If I was to ask you today, what's in your 401k plan, they would say, I don't know. If I ask you how much is in your savings bank, you probably know because you see that on a regular, but what's in your investment account, most people don't know. And then when they look at it, it's probably at the end of the year when they finally get that statement so they can take it to their tax or accountant or whoever is preparing the stuff for them. And they see that they took a dip and they lost 30 or 40%. And so you have to start safeguarding and be more attentive to your money on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, if nothing else, when it comes to those kind of things. And so we decided that there's so many families that have lost out, and I've known them personally and worked through that myself, that there's a better way to get to where you want to go to. And using real estate, which has helped propel, changed courses of destiny, has helped so many families, made them millionaires, have created passive income, generational wealth, as one of the strongest vehicles that they can use to create some income for themselves after they retire. You may have a retirement account that's built up with $300,000, but it's running out. As much as the investments is trying to make money, putting back in, is running out. So what else can I have that I can own that can continuously have passive income coming in? And a lot of people, that I know, they're working, they're nurses, they're doctors, they're firemen, they're policemen, they're sanitation workers, they're teachers, and they don't have time to invest in the next e-commerce and do this business and try to do the Amazon and all those other kind of things that we say you can make money online, you can make money online. And I had to tell them, nobody makes money. The only people that make money is the US government. Everyone else must learn to serve. But getting back to your point, what we do is we create customized real estate retirement reassurance portfolios for clients. And what that is we basically create a book for them. We put everything in there for them. So therefore now we can either individually or collectively put them in secured real estate deals using self-directed IRA accounts, where they can now take their money from their 401k plan, go through one of our custodian entities that we work with, that they will transfer some or all of the money over there and now roll it over into their self-directed. So there's a difference, because pension funds today are underperforming. If you go look at the national average, most pension funds are only at 60, maybe 65% of what they're supposed to have for you and I when we come out at age 65. Most Social Security systems the Social Security system right now is very weak too, based on what's going on. So it's underfunded. So who's to say, who's to know, what's going to happen in the future? So you have to take charge of your own financial destiny. And one way to do that is to get involved with real estate, with passive income opportunities, where you have something that's safe, It's secured if it's the right asset class. It appreciates in time. You get write-offs from it at the same time. So I'm not talking about joining a fund. Let me make that clear. A lot of times there's a lot of great companies and people out there that want you to have a fund, and you join a fund, and when the fund, you own stock, you own a unit, or you own a portion of the portfolio, but your name is not on the deed. I'm talking about putting your name on the deed either individually, and if you don't have enough, we'll syndicate you with 2 or 3 other people. So now Cindy, Bob, Roger, and Larry now all own the 16-unit building. And every month they're getting capital that's rolling right back into their 401k plan. So depending on who they are and how much they have to work with, we customize plans so we can start showing them, educating them, and empowering them. Let's get your house in order. Let's get your real estate in order. Let's get your credit in order. Let's look at paying down on some of these debts, and let's look at increasing your assets. Because most people, if you ask them, what is your net worth? Most people can't tell you. They don't even know, where does that come in the equation? It's not really taught in school a lot of times, so we miss it. So we're just randomly running around. But when you show them assets versus liabilities, this is what your net worth is. Wow, now let's keep score. So in January, you were here. February, you were there. Now we picked up this property, put it in your portfolio. Cha-ching! See how fast it went up? Now you got this on this side, that on that side. Let's move forward. Not only that, now let's talk about the other side of your house, which is the estate side, because do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Do you have a revocable trust? Do you have a medical narrative that if something happened to one of your family members and they become incapacitated, can you go pick up your check at work? Can you go to their bank and deal with their bank account to move money around to pay their bills? I have personally worked with people that in my family and outside my family that had these challenges because the right paperwork wasn't in order, wasn't in place, and it leaves you already in a stressful situation, even more stressed out now because you're arguing with the bank, the insurance company. So you need to have all of this in order, and these are the things that we put together for our clients in their customized package and help them keep score every month so they can win in this game and come out financially stronger. And what we're looking at is just diversify. Have something where, okay, I got my money in the stock market. I'm not saying taking it out. I'm not saying it's bad. The stock market's been great, but you need to diversify into some other asset classes. One last example on this is that we got a couple of clients involved in a O'Reilly Auto Zone, O'Reilly Auto. O'Reilly Auto is one of the big chain auto parts store in the country. And 10 of them came together to be able to buy this piece of property and they own the building. So it's important that we're owning the building on real estate that we know is a mainstay, essential part of the American fiber and the economy every day. And the chances of them going out is very small to none. And they have what's called corporate leases, meaning that the corporation of O'Reilly is signing a lease on this thing for 10 to 20 years to be in this location. That's almost like guaranteed income. That's about a 90 to 95% guaranteed income. I'm not waiting on if I have 10 tenants if they're going to pay. I have one good corporate tenant that's in there that's paying that guaranteed a lease for 10, 15, or 20 years, that now I know I have this passive income coming in every month, funneling back up into my 401k plan or my self-directed IRA 401k plan that we help the clients put together.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great plan. And switching gear one more time, Semay, is so the purpose of the show is to, for one, help small business owners grow, but another piece of that is systematically. So can you, with all the things you have going on, tell us any systems you put in place in your personal life or business life that has allowed you to do this much? Have you put in some kind of process or habit that has worked?
Yeah, very good. Yes, I think at the end of each year, around October, November, I'm already planning for the following year. Uh-huh. And so I will get my whole new spread out of my planner book, and I'm thinking about what things we're going to get rid of that's no longer serving us, clients that maybe we need to move on from, what new clients we want to go into, anything in technology world we need to change to improve our business or improve ourselves. And then I start mapping out each month, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? So we can have a plan in there for place. And then each month, when it opens up, like in June, I'm already looking at my book. Okay, these are the things I need to get done in June, and I'm keeping score. So it's just like in football or basketball, there's 4 quarters to this game. There's 4 quarters to the business world. And so at the end of the first quarter, if I was to talk to Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or McDonald's, they already know where they want to be by the end of the first quarter, by the end of the second quarter. I don't care what size your business, you need to be thinking about the same thing on that level, because that's how you get to that next level. Where do I want to be? And then you start with the end in mind first and then work your way backwards. Now, daily, What things do I need to do to get there to make this happen? And within that, now I have a to-do list that I'm going to keep very, very short and simple. So I have my daytime planner. I already blocked out who I don't need to be talking to during the daytime, because time is the only key ingredient that we cannot get back. It is so precious. So there's calls that's going to come into you sometimes that you just need to avoid and let go and answer those calls like after the market is closed, whatever you're doing. Then there's some calls that you do need to take, but you need to block out your time and preserve your time. But you need to, every night before you go to bed, you'll sleep better if you write out your to-do list the night before. And you go over your goal plan the night before. So if somebody woke up at midnight and you hurt your leg and you couldn't get out of bed, you can hand your book off to your son, your daughter, and say, this was supposed to happen today. And that makes things a little bit more simple. Order the inventory, check the stock, hold this interview for me, or postpone this interview for me, whatever it's supposed to be. You have that lined up. And then you may write down 6 things on your to-do list. And then you need to go back and reorder them. Which one is the most important one to do? And if I can only get the 3 of them today, what are the top 3 I need to do in the priority order? And then if I don't finish all 6, let me roll up number 4, 5, and 6 to tomorrow and put those on my priority list. So I just keep rotating over my to-do list over and over so I can stay on course, don't overwhelm myself, and plan out my day accordingly. Another thing I do is, they say sometimes 6 days of labor and 1 day of rest. I mean, sometimes you got to put it on that Saturday or put it on that Sunday or something to keep up or get ahead when you have a little bit more time now to not be, when people are not bothering you and you have more attention and focus now to take care of something during that quiet time. Sometimes people are so adamant about, when I went into business myself, I didn't realize that I only have to work a half a day. I just need to figure out if it's the first 12 hours or the last 12, but you've got to put in some time before you get to the point where I'm thinking, how do I get to my business where I can work on my business and not in my business? And I think it goes back to your book and everything about building systems. And when I build the system now, it makes things a lot more easy because now I can just have a 50,000 foot view looking down into it and making sure I have the right controls, the right people, and the right systems in place. So I have a succession plan. And I freed myself up now to go do other things or to continue to monetize this business here so I can scale it. But I can't bake the cookies and put them in the oven and be out there trying to expand the empire at the same time. I got to turn that over and let Sally do that at a given rate and let me go out there and work on the more high-end things that's going to bring in more revenue for the company. So don't be afraid to trust and don't be afraid to train, but at the same time, inspect what you expect.
I think that's a great system. Usually people will mention some kind of like tactical system, like how to answer the phone or how to file something. But I like how you did a leadership system, which has to do with thinking about the next year and breaking it out by quarters and figuring out how to measure that. That is a system that leaders have to put in place if they're going to lead well. And it's not tactical, but somebody has to do it. Otherwise, you're just loose with your leadership. So what's the question that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you during this interview that you want to leave the audience with?
Wow, what question you didn't ask me? I think you already asked me, why do I do what I do? How did I get started? I think that's it. Why do you do what you do? Why are you so excited? And I'm excited about life. I'm excited about the journey that I'm on. I'm excited about helping people. And it's not about how much money you make, but how much of an impact one can make in one's lifetime. And I've looked at a lot of mentors and mentees that I've talked to and worked with and listened to audios. That's another good thing that we left out, and I apologize. During these times right now, this is the best time to turn your car, your home into a university of learning. Learning is that master key, then comes the discipline. But, you have all this downtime instead of, spending it all on Netflix. Let Netflix be a reward, but don't let that be the babysitter for you. When I ask people, how much does your TV cost them? They say, what do you mean? I paid $1,900. I said, no, you spent over $30,000 because look how many hours you've given them of your life. That TV didn't cost you $1,900. It cost you $1 million worth of income you probably missed out on because you were sitting in front of that. So you need to find a way to turn off the distractions that are keeping you from making what you want to make and go back to school is never out. School is never out. So you should always be learning. You should always have, time to read a book. They say, the average person only reads about 1.5, maybe 2 books a year. So if you read 5, how much more further ahead are you than the next person? And if you can't read and don't want to read, get the audio. But as the saying goes, a man and woman who will not read is a man or woman who cannot lead. So readers are leaders, leaders are learners, and learners are earners.
You got some amazing quotes to me, I got to say. Hopefully my team, when they're editing this, they can find all these great quotes, because this is really bite-sized chunks. You've got a gift for that. Well, tell us, where can people find you if they want to either get help with their portfolio or lending, or with booking you as a public speaker? Where do they go?
Okay, they can go to, the easiest one is S. Rashad at titanscapitalpartners.com. Or if they want to know more about the portfolios and looking at their retirement accounts and having alternatives for that, they can go to www.titanscapitalequitygroup.com. The phone number to call for either one is 1-888-779-2348. That's 1-888-779-2348. I've had the same phone number for 15 years. You can check with T-Mobile. So I'm pretty stable and been around for a while. And, I love what I do. And so there's never a day that I go to work. It's always a labor of love. And as long as it's a labor of love, it's never work for me. So I enjoy what I do. I enjoy giving back and pouring into people the little bit that I know to help make a difference in their life along the way.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, Semay, thanks again for making the time on this Friday afternoon to do this interview. And thanks everybody who's tuned in live on the Facebook or watching this on YouTube or iTunes, wherever you're watching this. I appreciate you. I'll see you next week. I'll have another expert like Semay, or one of my previous clients, or one of my certified consultants, talking about how we can improve business so you can make more, work less. And also, if you want a free copy of that book right there behind me, Work the System, you can download it for free at workthesystem.com, audio or the PDF version. Or if you want the full version, hard copy, leave us a review and send a screenshot of that review to info@workthesystem.com, and we grab one name out of a hat a week, and we'll mail you a copy of that book anywhere in the world. All right, Semay, thanks again.
Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for hosting me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.